Welcome to our video series on using articles for online marketing. In this video, we'll explore ways to get your article published effectively. Okay, so you've written your article and you're ready to get it out there on the article directories. And there are at least hundreds of article directories. It's good to publish to as many of them as possible, but doing it by hand would take hours at the very least. So there are automated article services and submission software. Just search Google for article submission, or article submission software, or article submission service, or any combination of those. You'll find a whole bunch of them. Some sites don't allow automated submissions, so for some, you'll have to submit by hand. But I recommend that you only submit by hand to the leading sites, such as, for example, ezinearticles.com. At this time, I don't believe they take automated submissions, so you'll have to submit there by hand. But it is worth it to take the time to submit to this site by hand, and maybe 2 or 3 others. But beyond those, all the hundreds of other article directories are much less frequently visited, and you definitely want to automate your submission to those and not do it by hand. Okay, just a couple of services you can take a look at immediately, and hopefully these services will stick around for a while, so when you're watching this video you can take a look at them and maybe try them out. They all have their pros and cons, so it's up to you to try them out and see which ones you prefer. I do suggest that you don't use them at the same time, because many of them submit to the same places. So if you submit your article to all the article services, these directories are going to get multiple submissions from you for the same article, and they're going to get fed up with you. And that could actually hurt your chances of getting published. So it's probably best if you stick with one service or the other. Try it out, and if you like it, stick with it. And if you don't like it, try another one. Okay, there's Submit Your Article at submityourarticle.com. And often these sites are also article directories, so your articles appear there as well, and they offer automated services to get your article on literally hundreds of directories within hours. And there's also iSnare.com, which is also an article directory, but they also have the iSnare publishing service. Here, article distribution. So you can distribute your articles through them. Largely, they appear to submit to pretty much the same sites as Submit Your Article, and probably pretty much the same sites as many of the other article distribution services and software. So again, that's a reason to just stick with one or the other. Try them out and see which one you like. As you can see here, iSnare Article Distribution now submits to more than 1,000 plus sites. Click here for the partial list. And okay, here's the partial list. You'll find that many of these article directories don't receive much traffic, so they aren't going to send you many visitors. But if you can automate the submission process, it doesn't hurt to publish to them. But again, as I mentioned, the majority of your traffic is going to be coming from just a handful of sites, such as eZine Articles and just a few others. But if you can automate the process, there's no harm at all in doing it. And it does get a whole bunch of links pointing to your website, and they're going to be there effectively indefinitely, or as long as these sites are online, so you're going to have links pointing to your site for months and years to come, which is helpful for your search engine ranking, because obviously more links is better for you, and it will get you visitors to your site for months and years to come as well. And as I previously suggested, you really want to be publishing a lot of articles if your articles are appearing on multiple article directories, because again, as mentioned, a lot of the article directories don't get a lot of traffic, and on the ones that do, you'll have a lot of competition, so you'll have to stand out from the crowd, perhaps through sheer quantity. Also, if you want your articles to be picked up and published on other sites, the more articles you publish, the better your chances of that. So as I mentioned, you really want to be creating one article a day if you're going down this road of putting your articles on article directories. So that's a suggestion, and even publish more than one a day if you can, but you probably won't be writing them all yourself. You may want to get someone on board, hire someone through a site like elance.com or guru.com to write the articles, then quickly check them yourself and then publish them that way. So that may be an option. Finally, if you use a highly trafficked site like eZine articles, you may want to consider that they have some special services, such as Author Spotlight, where you can essentially give your articles priority over the hundreds of others that are submitted every day. So you might want to look into that. And really, this is only useful if you know the site is receiving visitors from a lot of publishers, a lot of website owners who are looking for good content. So if the site is receiving a lot of visitors who run websites, then something like this will make it more likely that your article will get picked up and published on their site. So you may want to try it out once or twice to see how it works for you. Of course, you can easily see where your article is being published by going to Google or Yahoo or Microsoft Search and typing in your article title within quotes. For example, this is my article title. By searching for the article title like that, you'll see which sites are listing it. It won't be a definitive list, but it will give you an overview. Also in Google, you can use the link command, link : and then yourdomain.com to see how many links there are to your site. And then that may be helpful in seeing where your article is published. And actually, if we go to Yahoo, search.yahoo.com, they have a nice feature, link domain : and then mydomain.com. And it shows you who's linking to your site, and it also shows you where your articles are appearing. Also, of course, you want to keep an eye on your web stats, your web statistics, because that shows you who's coming to your site and where they're coming from. Because using web stat services or software, traffic statistics software, shows you where on other sites or which other sites people are visiting you from. So then you'll see where people are clicking through, who's been clicking through at the bottom of your article to come to your site. So that's very useful. And actually, I suggest that you could go to google.com/analytics. You can get Google Analytics entirely for free now. You just add a snippet of code to every page on your website, and then it gives you very detailed reports, specifically in this instance, where people are coming to visit your site from. In other words, what the referring sites are. And of course, whenever someone clicks your site from another site, the original site is the referring site. They referred the visitor to you. Google will show you all those sites, so that's useful to know too, where your visitors are coming from and where your articles are published, and which sites are able to send you this traffic. One last suggestion. The sites that do send you this traffic, perhaps in the future you can contact them privately when you have a new article and ask them if they want to publish it. Of course, if they don't reply after you contact them, it's probably best that you don't hound them because that could be borderline spamming. But in the first place, you could just send them an email and say, "Would you be interested in future articles of mine? If so, just let me know and I'll drop you a line from time to time. If you stop being interested at any time, I'll stop sending you articles." Or you can just drop them an email and say, "Look, I'm maintaining a small list of websites that like publishing my articles. Do you mind if I add you to this list?" You'll get an email from me maybe every 2 or 3 days with the new articles. And also tell them that they can take their name off your list at any time very easily. So that may be another suggestion, to go to sites directly that are publishing your articles. That way it makes it a little less random having your articles actually published by other websites outside of article directories, because you aren't depending on those websites to go back to the article directories just to check for your latest stuff. So that's maybe a suggestion, to just contact them directly in that way. Anyway, that's how you can get your articles distributed onto hundreds or thousands of sites very quickly, how you can find out which sites are sending you visitors, which sites are sending you the most visitors, and where your articles are being published. And then you can consider whether to contact those sites directly regarding future articles, and perhaps maintaining a publisher list, a list of website owners who like to publish your articles, and then you can send them updates when you have new articles so they can pick from them and perhaps publish them on their site as well. But again, when playing the article directory game, so to speak, you're looking for sheer quantity of articles because there's so much competition. But it can also help, as I've already mentioned, to find out who is interested in publishing your articles outside the article directories, so you can build up one-on-one relationships with website publishers who then might be more willing to publish your future articles. And that's really where your articles start getting more and more traction online and start getting seen by more and more people. Because when you have personal relationships in that way with website owners who like to publish your articles, you're dealing in a far less crowded market. The article directories are automatically crowded. So moving beyond that, you're dealing in a far less crowded market. So it helps your articles stand out. And also, of course, if you find publishers who like your articles, who have very highly trafficked websites, then those are really good people to build a relationship with and get them to publish your articles as much as possible. Just don't hound them. Build up a genuine business relationship and make it an easy option for them to publish your content. I'll touch on this very briefly now, but it will be covered in a lot more detail later. One last suggestion is with such publishers who really want to keep publishing your articles because they really send you decent traffic. Or maybe you want them to publish your articles with more prominence. Or maybe there are sites online that you know publish articles, but they haven't published your articles yet, and you would like them to. Consider creating exclusive articles just for those sites. So if that's a site where you really want your articles published, send them an exclusive article where they are the only online publisher of that article. That makes it a lot more likely that they'll publish it because the content is entirely exclusive, and obviously make it very high quality because they're going to manually review it, and the benefit there is that it's exclusive content for them, it's high quality content, and therefore you have a much stronger position in asking them to give it more prominence on their site, and that can send you a lot more traffic. If they really like the content and they're the only publisher of that article, it may make it a lot more likely, if you ask them nicely, perhaps they'll put it on their homepage for a period, for example, which will get you a lot more visitors than when the article is buried 5 clicks deep on their website. One last point regarding that. If you have an affiliate program for your site where people can earn commissions by referring sales to you, maybe you can make a special arrangement with that publisher where they get more commission, for example, and you can say, here's an article, an exclusive article, and with a link at the bottom of the article, you can earn commissions as well as getting exclusive content. You also earn commissions by linking to us. So there's a double benefit for them there, and they have even more reason to give your article even more prominence, which in turn can send you even more visitors.